Hey, it's me, Tiffany. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're watching episode 6 of Top Form, and yeah, I think I'm gonna make it official today. I was going back and forth for the past few weeks. Like, I think last week's episode and the week before, no, last week's episode and couple episodes before that, I was releasing it on Thursdays, and then the few other episodes I was on Fridays or some other days because I was traveling as well too. But I'm gonna make it official here. From now on, Top 4 reactions are only going to be released on Fridays. I can't do Thursday anymore. I'm starting my summer semester, and I'm going back to, because in the fall semester, I was doing Tuesdays and Thursday classes, and then for the spring semester, I only had 3 classes instead of 4, so I took them all on Tuesdays, but now I am taking 4 classes now, so I have to do classes Tuesdays and Thursdays, because they're also longer because of the summer semester being shorter, so I'm not going to be home at all on Thursdays, so I definitely can't watch Top Form, so it's going to be on Fridays now. So yeah, but I'm very nervous for this episode because, okay, I'm gonna be very honest. I follow this creator on Douyin, and she watched the anime before, so she kind of does some comparison stuff, and I watched the episode 6 comparison. Now, like, not a comparison, but she was talking about like what to anticipate for episode 6 based on what she knows in the anime, and I chose to watch it because I've heard some things about what's supposed to happen, especially knowing that Johnny is showing up, Peanut's character, and I was like, I'm going to prepare myself for it, and then like, it's, I don't know, like, I'm like really frustrated, I guess, but at the same time, like, I need to see it to see how Akin and Jin's relationship progresses, and I can't just skip episode 6 and watch episode 7 next week, right? So like, there's no way, I have to watch it. I'm like, I don't know, I just don't know how to feel. It's frustrating knowing what's supposed to happen too. Like, I think I would be even more frustrated and angry. I think more like, kind of don't know how to react if I didn't know what's gonna happen. So yeah, but we're here. We're not episode 6 of Top Form. So without further ado, let's go. I love how he like knows Akin is like whipped for him. Oh my god, he's doing the same thing. Oh god. He's teasing him. He's like, oh, many ways he's replying to him. It's like, he's also equally as whipped. Oh, look at the smile. Well, yeah. Wrapped around my fingers.
ลูกฉันหัวปักหัวปั๊มขนาดนี้แน่หรอนั่นสิผมเป็นใครกันนะพี่คิงไปอยู่ไหนอาเคนเหรอเขาก็นอนอยู่กับผมนี่แหละแล้วมีธุระอะไรหรือเปล่าครับพอดีว่าทางเราเนี่ยกำลังสนุกกันอยู่เนี่ยกูไม่รู้นะว่ามึงเป็นใครแต่ถ้ามึงกล้าแต่ต้องพี่ยังคิดมึงเจอกับกูแน่มึงคิดว่าตัวเองเป็นใครวะจุ๊บจุ๊บนี่เดี๋ยวผมไปส่ง
Okay, so that's my reaction to episode 6. I'm like blanking on the episode. It's a very hard episode to watch, and it's a lot I definitely have to rewatch it. Like, I was able to catch a majority of their facial expressions in the darker scenes, but like I said earlier, like the sun is like sitting right on my face right now. So like there was some like, I need like more like smaller micro expressions that I was not fully able to catch. So if I say, like, my opinions kind of like reflect that, my apologies. I should have watched this a little bit earlier, so there's not as big of a glare from my computer screen or used my iPad today, but yeah. It's really hard right now, because like, I think a lot of reactors will like, I watch like movie reactions, and a lot of them will like kind of like jot down things and like take a break between like their kind of summaries and their reactions, and I don't do that. I just do it in one take, and I'm like thinking about this right now because like I have so much thoughts in my head. It's really kind of like everywhere, and it's really hard for me to kind of. I feel like this is gonna be a very long talk, and it's gonna be all over the place. But I'm gonna try my best to kind of organize it in a way that's audibly like understandable. But yes, Johnny as a character, I'm really frustrated with this character because I've read so many things about him. He raped somebody, and that's not cute, that's not okay, and he needs to be put in jail, be, like, you know, everybody needs to know, you know, he needs his career to be ruined, all that kind of stuff, you know, a lot of thoughts. But the frustrating part is knowing that his character is not supposed to be the bad guy of the series, and that he does turn into a good. I'm not really sure with the story myself, but what I've seen is that because obviously Peanut and Euro are supposed to be a CP in the second couple in the series, so Johnny does somehow become like a character that we're supposed to like watch fall in love with Euro's character. I don't know his character's name yet, so I'm like, how's that? So like you set this character up the first time we see him as such a horrible person that like I don't want to see him on screen again, and like it's frustrating, and like I don't know, like I don't want to see that kind of like him having a happy life and deserving of another character to be with him and all that kind of stuff too. So it's like ugh. So it's like I don't know how you can kind of like I don't think this character is redeemable, and seeing that we have how many like almost half the series left for him, no, less than half the series left, and like how is he gonna go all the way to kind of be who what I've seen is he's gonna be. I'm not gonna root for it. Like it's not something that I want to see. I'm not gonna enjoy it at all. And then, like, once again, this is based on what I've seen so far right now. If something, like, if it's, like, another interpretation of what happened, which I doubt there is gonna be, because, like, I saw what I saw. Like, yeah. Like, once again, don't know anything that comes out after this. Please, and also, side note right now, please don't write in my comments anything related to the anime or the manga and ruin it for all of us who haven't seen or watched any of that, please. Like, if I do want to know what happened, I will go out of my way to go look for those information, but if I don't talk about it, if I don't, like, you know, explicitly, like, say that, okay, this is a heavily spoiled series reaction, because I do, like, sometimes I read a book and I want to do comparison reactions, and it's heavily spoiling a lot of things, and I'm, like, cautious about the spoils, but, like, please don't. I will delete your comment, and you will be in the little blocked section of my YouTube for a few months if you do that. I clean out my block after once in a while if you, like, you say something that is more, like, spoily. Like, some people write paragraphs of spoilers, and I'm like, girl, please don't do that. Delete right away. But yeah, back to the thing. Yeah. Don't know how they're gonna redeem this character. It's not a redeemable character in my eyes. I think, like, like I said earlier about the whole, like, parallel, you can clearly see the parallel between last episode and this episode in the car scene. Was the last episode? Yeah, the car scene where they're like, if you leave this car, you know, he left this car thinking that Jin will come and kind of run after him, just like how last time is, but he didn't. He drove away. And I think it's really frustrating for Akin's character, and we have to sympathize with Akin's character, and we also have to sympathize with Jin's character, because they both have their own feelings and thoughts about what exactly happened and how it happened. And I'm going to talk about kind of Jin's perspective first, because I think it's shorter, and I can it's already kind of clear in my head, and Akin, I'm still like, it's like he's going through a lot right now, and it's hard for me to articulate it fully. But for Jin, I think what we can see and what I'm interpreting it as is that, like, Jin hears his phone call. This person that he obviously loves is with another person, and the idea is that, like, the Akin he knows and the Akin he's heard about has been this character who who is somebody who was very famous and has always been very strict about and like getting really good with his acting and who he the way he portrayed his character. And a big part of last week's episode, and I think it was a really good story writing aspect of this, is that they built up last week's episode as at the beginning where he was when Akin was talking about like I've always embodied this character. He is a method actor. He acts and he like absorbs his character and he has this feeling, and a big part of him last week's was overcoming the idea that like I can only act and I always have to be this perfect person, and a lot of the times I'm so into this role in this character that my emotions become that person. Method acting. And a big part of that, like his kind of a way of saying like, oh, like I can't be with you, was because like, oh, this is just the emotions that we're feeling because we play two characters that are supposed to have a lot of emotional attachment with each other, and that's why we were so close with each other. And so like kind of having that as kind of a small background in their romance and their relationship. And then he's like, okay, after our job is finished, we're still very happy and close together, but then you get another job and then he hears all that. It's like, oh, like you were just playing with me, my feelings, and it was never true. You're just not doing that because we were close in the aspect of the characters. Like, you know, like that idea of showing that. And I think like in that moment, especially like when you're very emotional and so many things running through his head, like you can't fully think clearly, so you can't really be mad at Jin for thinking that, because for him in this state and the way he is, this is what he can think of. You know, a lot of illogical things become quote unquote logical in a person's mind when their emotion is running at 300%. So, and like seeing that person also like after being frustrated, and also seeing the person you have like them have like all the hickeys and all that kind of stuff on Akin's body, all these emotions are still up in him. It's like for him that is what logically makes sense because of what he hears, like the outside influences in this feeling. But like, so it's like, it's not that he doesn't love him anymore, it's that at that moment that's what he felt. And when Akin walked out and he was just really mad and he drove off. Like that's like from my perspective of what I see Jin is feeling. And also I'm saying all this stuff without watching the preview because I don't watch the previews for the series either. So yeah, and it's he in an aspect, because he's blinded by these emotions. At the same time, he doesn't know what happened. He didn't know what led up to that. To him, he was betrayed. The promise that they've made together was broken, and he's mad at that idea of the promise they had for each other being broken, because he has upheld that promise. He's like, I'm working my way to become the next best artist, best actor, and I'm gonna get that award, and we're gonna fulfill our promise for each other, but you broke it. That whole idea caused him to be angry with him. And if we're just looking at Jin's perspective only, he has all the right to be angry with him in that moment. But for us, knowing what happened with Akin, it can be frustrating to see that he didn't let Akin explain. Like, he does not know the full story. Why is he doing all this? Like, the person that you love literally got raped. He doesn't know that. He just heard that Akin was sleeping with somebody else. He broke his promise, and he's pretending nothing happened. That's what he sees. I think we make really sure that this is what he sees in his perspective of things. So like, that's like what I'm getting at, and I think it's gonna be. All I know is I can see it. I don't think it's gonna happen in the series, but I can see Akin, like if Jin knows what exactly happened, like Johnny would have been dead yesterday. Okay, like this man is so like in love and protective of his future boyfriend, and like, oh, imagine you can see Johnny being beaten up. Oh, okay, that's sidetracking. Yeah, no, I was talking about Akin. Oh god. I have a lot of thoughts, and I have a lot of like talk about him, and I can feel a lot of things from him. It's very like he's a victim, and I feel so sorry for him, and it like adding to that, I think for him, he was trying to explain to Jin what happened, and I can see it in him, which once again, Boom being an amazing actor, his eyes, everything. Chef's kiss, like he's so good at acting his emotions, But like for him, he was trying to explain things, I think, but he can't explain them because one, he doesn't remember, two, and it's such a traumatic experience. It's traumatizing what happened to him, and like to say it right after, like it's trauma, and you know, within that, like I've worked with, and I've read a lot of things about trauma specifically. Actually, I do know a lot about PTSD right now because I just wrote a paper about PTSD. It was like 20 pages long, but I wrote one, so I know a lot of PTSD treatment and trauma treatment. But to him, he doesn't know what happened. He can't explain that to him. And at the same time, a lot of individuals who are raped have that guilt that it's their fault, that internalized guilt that like, oh, I did this to myself. Because I was acting the way that is, I am the reason that happened because I did that. Like the internalization of that truth. And I feel like Akin might have is feeling that because I think when Jin was saying all those words, like, you broke that promise, he's feeling that guilt, like, yes, I did something wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't. You know, like, he was drunk and he was taken advantage of. He was raped by Johnny, so, but to those victims, it is something that they can't fully, like, understand that because of the trauma that they've gone through. It's very damaging to their self-esteem and to themselves, you know. It's really bad. So I think like a big part of him is like he can't explain what happened. He doesn't know what happened, so he can't explain it, and he thinks that he did something wrong and he broke that promise. So I think that's why he chose to walk out, because he doesn't know what to do. And I think a big part is that we've seen Akin kind of like running away from his problems too. It just not specifically related to this, but like in other parts, there's a few scenes of like other things that we've seen that he kind of walks away from it. Like he ignores Jin last episode and all that kind of stuff. He kind of run away. He pushes himself. He isolates himself to escape from those problems. So like he's doing that. He kind of walked out of the car, and he kind of once again expecting Jin to come and save him from the pain, but he didn't. I think that's what's more frustrating for him too, as well too. But yeah, so just a lot of, I think, using a lot of cinematography and as well as acting to kind of portray the kind of like confusion from Akin's character was well done, I guess, in the sense. But I don't know, I just feel like I have so much to say about Akin's character, but like I can't organize my thoughts enough to fully like explain everything to understand, because I feel like what I just talked about does not really make sense either. But like to me is that Akin is like the best way I can explain him. He's confused because he doesn't know what happened. I keep repeating that because like that's what I see, and it's horrible. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can keep talking. It's just so much. I guess we'll see how this is gonna go next episode. There's 11 episodes to this series. Let me check my calendar. So, and I feel like there's 11 episodes. I feel like there's a lot of things that like, I don't know, needs to happen. Hero's character needs to show up. Also, like, what happened to Jade? Because Mr. Jade, we got a post-credit scene with you with your possible partner, and then we're like, boom, it's gone. I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah. Yeah. I probably will have more to say next week at the beginning, so there's probably gonna be a long spew at the beginning of next week's reaction about my feelings for Akin and like kind of what happened. Not like my feelings about him, but like how I interpret what he's going through, because I feel like it does take a little bit more of like processing time for me to collect my thoughts for this one specifically. So yeah. Hope I was understandable. I feel like I was just talking randomly. Like honestly, I was just like whatever came into my mind, I spoke. It's not organized whatsoever, but yeah. I found the word that I was looking for. He's distressed. I don't know why I could. You see, this is how like muddy my brain is right now. he was distressed. He was fucking distressed about what happened. It was, you know, everything is unclear to him, and at the same time he feels like he hurt Jin, that he did something wrong, because once again that kind of internalizing of these emotions because of the trauma that he has faced. So distress is the right word, and honestly I don't know why I did not think of distress as the word that I was thinking of earlier. Muddy brain, because I use the word distress like in every other fucking sentence at school. Whatever. But yes, he's distressed. That's what I was looking for. And then another big part I think I just came up with the idea is that, not I came up with the thought is that I think I can also quite isn't understanding why I think Jin is so mad, in the sense because he thought that it was just that he didn't answer his text messages when he texted him. He's not aware that Johnny picked up his phone call and heard and everything that Johnny has to say. So like I think because there's such a big gap in his memory, he's very, very confused on everything's happening at the same time. So I think that makes it like 100 times more confusing for him, because of like and another big part is that he's also not denying what happens, but at the same time he can't tell really Jin what happens, because he didn't know what happened. So I think it levels up with that kind of frustration, so he kind of understands that like Jin is really, really mad at him for something, and kind of like building up on that kind of internalization, he's mad at himself about it too now. So I think all these emotions build up, and I think what's very important, I think, is communication, but at the same time, I wouldn't want somebody who is going through such a traumatic experience to kind of try to communicate with somebody and explain all his emotions before he fully understands what his emotions are either, too. So, I like, yes, 24 hours has gone by. It's barely 24 hours has gone by. But, like, he hasn't even processed what happened fully yet. He kind of woke up, saw Alvin, called him, went to work, saw the person who manipulated and harassed and assaulted him at work, and then saw the kind of fight, like saw like them like choking him out, which was kind of satisfying to watch. Choking him out, and then like he got pulled into it, and the conversation in the car, and it's like, dude, like he did not have the time to think and process any of that either too. And once again, there's that like idea that like I don't think you can't blame either one of them for what happened, in the sense of like what happened in the car. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take a lot of trust and a lot of other things too, and fucking Johnny being in a ditch, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, that's what I wanted to add. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow me on my social media down below. See you next time. Bye.